When I opened the front door one Saturday afternoon, I expected to meet Kieran Frost, an applicant for the room for rent in the house I shared with my ex-boyfriend. What I didn't expect was to meet Kieran Frost, owner of the most stunning green eyes I'd ever seen. He was gorgeous. Simply fucking gorgeous. The tight jeans and black leather jacket didn't help any, drawing my attention to his broad shoulders and narrow hips. I hadn't necessarily assumed that our potential roommate would be unattractive, but I certainly hadn't bargained for this. Thankfully, he broke the silence before I had a chance to make a complete idiot of myself. "I'm Kieran," he said, extending a hand. "I'm here to look at the room for rent. I assume this is the right place?" "Yes, this is the place." I shook his hand. "Rhett Solomon." He grinned. "I suppose I shouldn't make any jokes about Gone with the Wind." "You wouldn't be the first, and you won't be the last." I gestured inside. "Anyway, come in, come in." As he walked past me, I couldn't help but cast a surreptitious glance at him. A mistake, of course, because he was just as sexy from the back as the front. Lead me not into temptation. He didn't seem to notice my staring, though, because he was more enthralled with the house. "Wow," he said. "This is a nice place." "Yeah, we like to think so." I shut the door behind us and gestured for him to follow me down the hall. "Here, let me show you the room that's available." I led him down the hall, silently wondering if this was a good idea. We needed a tenant, but I was frustrated enough, for very different reasons, with Ethan still living here. I wasn't sure I could handle being around Kieran and Ethan. Desperate times, desperate measures. I opened the door to the third bedroom and turned to say something to him, but he quickly glanced away and cleared his throat, as if I'd caught him looking at something he shouldn't have been. Like me. I couldn't be sure, but even in the dim light of the hallway, I swore his cheeks darkened a little. Wishful thinking, Solomon. I gestured toward the bedroom. "This is it." He didn't look at me on his way into the room, but the sunlight coming in through the window confirmed my suspicion. There was a little extra pink in his cheeks, and good God, Kieran, you must have sold your soul for cheekbones like that. He checked out the room, and I answered questions when he had them. All the while, I tried to convince myself there was no point in looking, nor was there any point in entertaining any kind of fantasy about what went on in his mind when he looked at me. We were to be roommates. He was an extra check every month to help us pay down the mortgage, until Ethan and I could sell the damned place and go our separate ways. I pressed my tongue stud against the roof of my mouth as I often did when I was nervous. This was ridiculous. From what Ethan said after speaking to him on the phone, Kieran was 25, a full 14 years my junior. Hell, he was closer to my daughter's age than mine. He was too young. I was too newly single. Oh, but what I wouldn't give for a night with someone that hot. "I like it," he said, nodding and giving the room one last look. "I should show you the rest of the house then." I smiled, hoping I hid all the thoughts running through my mind. We stepped out into the hallway. "The bathroom's the next door down on the left." I pointed in its direction. "Between—" I hesitated. "Between our bedrooms. We'll be sharing that bathroom." He nodded but said nothing. I quickly changed the subject before I spent too much time thinking about Kieran in the same shower I'd be using. "You're welcome to any room in the house besides our bedrooms. Mi casa, su casa. All we ask is that you replace anything you use in the kitchen, and we'll do the same." "Fair enough." "We don't care about having people over," I said. "Obviously, the usual requests about keeping things clean and not making too much noise, but otherwise, we're pretty easygoing about everything." "I work nights anyway," he said. "I won't wake anyone up when I get in at 2 or 3 in the morning, will I?" I shook my head. "Ethan sleeps like the dead, and I keep fairly late hours. Anyway, let me show you the rest of the place.